And we're recording. Welcome to the interview, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. My name is Bryce Tubbs, and joining me today is Latoya Early. She helps coaches and entrepreneurs discover their niche in business with her vision coaching. Is there anything else you'd like me to add, Latoya?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I appreciate you. I appreciate the opportunity. Just wanted to do a few highlights with who I am and what I do as a vision coach. Not only do I help coaches and service-based entrepreneurs discover their niche, but I also help you identify your blind spots in business, and I help you create additional streams of income through your business. So not only through building a lucrative business, but also throughout your lifestyle, really helping you with a lifestyle transformation.
Okay, wow, that's really cool. I think we're going to talk a lot about that today. That's actually a really great service that you have for them, because a lot of people get stuck in that one stream. So, what was life like before you got into coaching?
Well, I've been an entrepreneur since 2008. The funny thing about it is when I first started coaching, I started in adult novelty. So that was my first introduction to multi-level marketing. It was my first introduction to entrepreneurship. I've always known I was an entrepreneur. The problem was I wasn't clear on what it looked like and how to embody it, how to perform it, how to do it. So it took me some time. Finally, in 2012, I was able to launch what God has given me today, and I've been thriving and moving forward since then.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what was the catalyst? What caused you to open that?
So the foundation of the business was originally paper shuffling. I was very good at administrative work, executive administration, really helping other leaders and visionaries put their businesses in place. So I was always the one to come in to fix systems, processes, create new forms, create new systems. I started helping startups do their foundation, their LLCs, corporations, 501c3s. And as I would sit with them, I would ask, okay, so what's next, right? That what's next question. And a lot of them didn't know. They just knew that they had an idea, and I was told to start a business. So I saw myself sitting down with a lot of them, really helping them pull the vision together, really helping them identify those blind spots, identifying the problem that they solved in business. And when God presented to me a coach, I had no idea what a coach was. I had never heard of a life coach. I didn't know what a coach was. So I was kind of thrown into an industry that I'm like, Lord, what are you telling me? Like, what is this? So I really started in the industry backwards. I didn't know anything about coaching until I really started to define my gift, get better at it, and this is where I am.
What would you consider your gift? Is it being able to organize chaos, or is it to be able to allow or to empower other people to organize chaos?
To be able to empower other people's organized chaos. The gift is absolutely in being able to see bigger in who you are, being able to see bigger in your business. Again, one of my focal points in coaching is helping you to create additional streams of income, because again, there's places in your business where you're only able to see through one way. You're able to see, you only have tunnel vision because of what you thought you were good at. And so what I've learned is that I have a pretty good gift in not only identifying those blind spots, but really helping you figure out how else can I maximize this. I am not a fan of Jack and Jills of all trades. I don't think that you have to do 17 different things to create a wealthy lifestyle. I do believe that when God has given you a specific solution to a problem, you can figure out 20 different ways to apply that solution to the world.
So can I ask you this? So let's say, that the person watching is a life coach, which more than likely they are. What are, some different streams of revenue that they can have within their existing business, other than just one-on-one coaching?
Okay, that's a good question. So first, I would help the life coach identify the exact problem they're called to solve in life coaching. Again, when I was called to coaching, I knew that it was a specific area I was called to. I'm not called to a person's whole life.
Uh,
I'm not in the position to help you lose weight. I'm not in the position to, so there's certain things that I know that my gift is its sharpest in a particular area. So the first thing I would do with the life coach is really help them define that specific problem that they're called to solve. Once we're able to define that and of course make the messaging crystal clear, then we can move forward in creating different avenues of income, whether or not it's through a book, whether or not it's through group coaching, it's programs, it's memberships, whether or not we're creating product, whether or not we're positioning them for speaking engagements, so there's a lot of different ways that we can create multiple streams as a coach instead of always doing one-on-one coaching.
yeah. It's really interesting to see all the different ways. So let me ask you this, right? So the person has their messaging figured out and they understand exactly what they're called to do. Now, in order for them to have, one-on-one coaching, group coaching, be able to sell books, they have to have an audience. What is the, what would you recommend for them to go start and grabbing the audience?
Well, that comes along with the messaging. Once you know the message that you're supposed to present to your audience, you'll start to find people gravitating. I use in my coaching program the mirror effect. You'll begin to see yourself in your audience. You'll begin to see in your audience and begin to see them in you. So when you're building your audience, you want to connect with people, you want to create authentic relationships, and you want to let people know that you do have the solution to their problem. And so the reason why I like to narrow down the specific of your coaching is because a lot of times people consider life coaching to be some sort of they may not look at it as a position or an opportunity to help you get to the next level. They more so look at it as an aid, or, I'm helpless or I need help, versus it being looked at as an opportunity for you to get to the next level. So if I can position you and your message where it's being received as not me aiding you in a place of complacency, but helping you get to the next level, and again, tailoring that message to that solution, then I believe that's how you'll begin to generate that audience.
Okay. But so you're saying you're going to pull them in, and then basically network effects can happen because they're going to start inviting their friends who are similar to them. And then you're going to,
they're going to start connecting to your problem. I'm sorry, not your problem. They're going to start connecting to your story. So the moment they're able to relate to you, the moment that they're able to see that, hey, I've gone through the exact things or the similar things that you've gone through, now I can connect. Now I hear that you have wisdom. Now I hear that you have a solution. And so it's going to naturally attract. It's an organic growth. Once you're able to organically grow your audience through knowing how to tell your story, through knowing how to position your content, through knowing how to position the message, it becomes magnetic.
Mm-hmm. So then what I'm basically asking is there a faster way to get that organic growth started, or do they have to go one at a time? How can they start to multiply their current audience?
Well, that's when you create collaborations such as this. Being on a platform such as this allows that type of accelerated growth. But I am not really a huge teacher on accelerated growth, because that's not how growth happens. Mm-hmm. When you plant a seed, you cannot expect that tree in the next 2 days. So you have to take the time to grow and nurture and develop it, so that not only are you secure in your call, but you're also being authentic to your audience. You never want to present yourself as an expert in an industry where if it's not moving fast enough, you want to jump out of it, or you'll disconnect yourself from it. So you want the growth to be organic. In that process is where you build your character, is where you understand who you are. It's where you have, your skills become better when you're able to present yourself better. So that process is actually necessary in order for you to, generate the clients that you want to work with.
Mm-hmm. So can I ask you this? So how crucial is it for you managing expectations with new clients or new people in business? How do you, kind of tell them it's not going to be overnight without discouraging them?
So that's a good question. That is an absolutely good question. So that's the explanation that I give them. I give them the example of a tree. Our overall goal is to get fruit, is to receive fruit. And so fruit does not produce overnight.
Yeah.
So I teach, I talk about the microwave effect. I am a steak lover. Okay. Just thinking about it. I love steak, right? So I don't want my steak in the microwave. Don't bring me a filet in a microwave. And so if you want to be the one that's not going to be surface, because I like to help my coaches dig deep. I want you to get to the root of your client's problem. Don't be surface. Don't try to put makeup on and try to make it better. No, let's dig. And so in order for you to dig, you got to endure the process. The success, one of my favorite memes, I can never remember where I found it, but one of my most favorite memes was, or is, I became an overnight success in 10 years.
Yeah.
Because this industry is not the type of industry that you can jump into when you mean it. Okay, let me be clear. If you're a coach where you understand that this is a call on your life and you love it and you are connected to it and you want to serve, it's not going to happen overnight. Now, if you're a coach or you're like, listen, I just want to get out here, there's a difference between changing the mindset of your client and changing the moment of your client. And my job is to build coaches that are into changing the mindset, not the moment. So it's going to take time. There's a process to this.
Okay. I had a follow-up question, but I lost it within there. That's actually very, very interesting. So let me ask you, okay, so why do you think that so many coaches jump around? Oh, that's what it was. Shifting the mindset, right? Because we always have those disclaimers and you use examples of the tree, but maybe you get into the process and you see that their old mentality is starting to come back where they quit on stuff very easily. They shift around. What do you do to help them kind of not
do that? That's good. That's a good question. So in my coaching community where I coach coaches is a 12-month program. And so kind of piggybacking on how do I help explain the process, I let them know that I hold your hand through the process. My program is not a program that you can, receive your certification or your training in 3 to 4 weeks and I toss you out to the wolves. I want to hold your hand. I want to help you. I want to walk you through the process because I understand the feeling of being a new coach and jumping out and not knowing how to price yourself, not knowing how to position yourself. So that's one thing is I let them know that I'm your accountability, I'm your support. And that's the most crucial thing that's necessary when building a coaching business. When they feel that they're going back into those old ways, this is why I believe in pulling the issues from the root. So again, I'm not going to go to the base and snip off the plant at the ground. Nope, I'm going to dig, pull it from the root so that it doesn't return. If it begins to return, then we go through the process of the notions all over again. But that's the benefit of being a part of the 12-month program, because now when those thoughts and those old habits begin to resurface, you don't have to fight it by yourself.
Mm-hmm. So can I ask you this? 12 months is a long time if you get into it like the wrong person. So since you have the ability to kind of change their mindset over time, right? Or improve and enhance their mindset, how strict are you with new clients that you take on? Do you take on your vetting process? Okay.
So the vetting process is really identifying how serious they are to the growth and the development of their coaching business. One of the questions I do ask is this a hobby? Is this something that you're just doing, that you're looking to do as something extra to do? Or are you really looking to create a substantial, wealthy business from this? By determining that answer, is what can help me understand or identify whether or not this is a coaching community for you. If you notice, I have on the shirt, it says coaching is a lifestyle. Wow. So if you're not going to be committed to the lifestyle, then in our initial conversation, you'll know how serious I take this and how this is something that you kind of need to decide. Now, have I had clients that jumped into the program and was like, no, thank you. Yeah. Absolutely. But I've also had clients who've been a part of my program for about 3 or 4 years. So again, it is an acquired taste, but it's kind of like that one time you've had lobster or caviar or the right type of steak. If you love it, you love it. If you don't, you don't.
So follow up to that. So if someone was gung-ho when they first started and you can start to see them kind of fading out, do you have tricks to get them back interested in going, or do you let them out? Or is it just that because it's a lifestyle for you, it seeps into their veins and gets into their soul too?
It kind of seeps into their veins. But
Right.
when I do see them, because we have those seasons where, we kind of fade away. We're not as interested. We don't feel it, but I'm your coach. I'm here to pull you out of the mud. I'm not going to leave you in the mud. Now you decide. I'm not going to force feed you. I'm not going to make you do anything that you don't want to do. So if you decide that you no longer want to be a part of the community, then I understand. Come back when you're ready. I've had clients do that. They'll leave for a season and they'll come back. And then I've had clients who have kind of went into the hiatus for a little while, and I had to go find them. I've had to, get onto the phone with my coaches and say, I'm coming to look for you type of thing, because I want to make sure that they understand that because entrepreneurship is such a huge assignment, you're going to go through trials. You're going to go through moments where your mind is going to tell you that you can't do it or you don't want to do it. And you need someone that's going to say, no, yes, you can. Let's keep going. Let's keep pushing. Let's move forward.
Okay. So,
Bryce, the way that you're looking, it's like your brain is doing like this. Like you have so many thoughts and questions.
I'm dealing with a client sent me a text that she wants to take this weekend, the next week off for Christmas break. And I'm like, we're not in school. We don't get Christmas break. Especially when people are trying to spend money right now on the holidays. They're going to be around their family. Their family are going to be mean to them. Maybe they don't get along with the people in their life. Maybe they're not going to get a Christmas present. This is a time when life coaches need to be pushing, attacking.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's kind of why it's like, it doesn't happen very often to me. But when it does, it's kind of frustrating because it's like, you're making a result. Oh, how? So oftentimes as an experienced coach, right, you can see when your client is on the right track towards making success that, like this, taking the steps. So the group's starting to grow. She's starting to get some sales, but I can see that it's going to snowball in the next 3 to 4 months if she keeps up the same pace.
Okay.
She's getting discouraged because she's not a millionaire yet.
Okay.
So how do you talk to your clients about, okay, you're on the right path? How do you set up that, basically like that roadmap? Do you ever draw it out for them, or do you just tell them on the fly, or?
Well, I do. I draw them a roadmap for it because I encourage them to focus on the goal and not the process, right? You have to go through the process. If you focus on the process, you'll want to give up. You'll say, this is not for me. But I understand the goal, and I make the goal more than a monetary goal. Of course, our goals, we want to be financially secure. Of course, we want to be in a great financial state. But I look at it more so, once you reach this goal, imagine how many people's lives you've impacted, right? And so once I kind of give them that feeling of, being the one to help someone else through their hard times, being the one to help them through, their situations, it really kind of changes the momentum. Wow. Because coaching is not about you as the coach. It's about the client that you're coaching. So if I keep my focus on the person that I'm supposed to help change, then it's going to kind of keep me going. Like, okay, this isn't about me. Okay, LaToya, get out of your feelings. It's not about you. And then that really helps them keep forward.
Because I'm like, literally, I'm like, wait, why would, since they just don't have the experience of, oh my gosh, you got 5 people to respond to your offer on your first live video, and they're like, but no one bought. And I'm like, are you crazy? Do you know how difficult that is? Like, you got your message down in under a month.
But you have to remember, as the coach, we have to change their mindset. So because we live, and the way that we live, we're used to instant gratification. Come on, I post something, I get 1,300 likes, and I think I'm big stuff. No. So we have to now transform the way they're thinking, reprogram them, and start getting them to recognize that those 5 people that reached out, you're now 5 steps closer to where you were, before you did the live. So it's just about helping them transform the way that they're thinking.
How I guess that this video is kind of moving more towards like the mindset of our clients or whatever. I don't know if that's if you'd like to keep going down this road, but my final question would be, when you're training them for, the good times and the bad times, the good times and the bad times of their business, what do you really teach them? Do you teach them to like stay in the middle emotionally, or?
Well, I tell them to address their emotion. Your emotions are real. Your emotions, the tricky thing about your emotions, though, is that your emotions can trick you and they can deceive you. I don't believe that you should be led by your emotions, but you most definitely need to address the emotion, especially when you're building business. The emotion of fear, the emotion of anxiety, the emotion of depression, all of the different things that come up, you have to face it, because if you don't, you'll keep trying to suppress it or you'll try to medicate it, and that's not going to make it go away. So I do encourage them to face the emotion, and then I teach them to channel the emotion. Why are you feeling this way? And how can we counteract the emotion? Okay, I'm feeling sad because, again, I had 5 people reach out. None of them signed with me, right? So that made me feel sad. It made me feel defeated. And so now I present to them that the adversity is simply a test. Are you going to keep going, or are you going to allow it to stop? So it's just facing the emotion. Every time you get into a space where you're feeling overwhelmed or you're feeling like this isn't the proper or the right pursuit for you, I just challenge them to face it and address it.
Mm-hmm. So, what problem are people generally trying to solve when they come to you? I'm sure it's not just clarity. Is it other things in their overall life, or is it only their business they come to you for?
So initially, they think it's business,
Mm-hmm.
and then they find out that it's more to that than just business. I do believe that in order to be professionally successful, you have to be healthy personally. So I can't help you build your coaching business if you are harboring vengeance, resentment, bitterness, unforgiveness. We can't get anywhere with that. So in order for us to be successful professionally, we're going to have to remove some of those layers personally. Not only is it going to be beneficial for your life, but it's going to be beneficial for you as a coach, because now you have content. Now you have, meat to present to your client to help them through their trial of whatever it is that you're coaching them to. So when they're coming to me, I help you, again, identify your blind spots. I help you identify the exact problem that you're called to solve. When I tell you that I'm so specific with the exact problem you're called to solve, that I encourage my coaches to simplify it to one word. Yes, we have these nice pitches that people are being taught and all of this good stuff, but I want to know one word. What's the one problem that you're called to solve in coaching? Once they're able to identify that, I help them create their framework. How are you going to solve this problem for your client? Whose problem? What does your ideal client look like? So whose problem are you going to solve? And then how many ways can we solve this problem? And this is where the additional streams of income comes from.
Have you, okay, so this is kind of a thing I've noticed with some of my clients. I don't know if you've noticed the same thing, but once you really get that foundation going and you really kind of reprogram them, isn't it easier to get them success after they're already starting to be successful and they have that momentum? Or do you find that it's a continuous push through?
Oh, it's a continuous push. It's a continuous push. And I say that because the first thing that we have to do is start to recognize success. Mm-hmm. We have this idea of what success looks like. So sometimes we're striving for something so big that we're not recognizing the success that we're receiving or that we're obtaining in that day. Mm-hmm. So once I start getting you to recognize those moments of success, then the stretch becomes farther, because now you can kind of see where you're pressing towards. So, and I teach about seasons in business. We go through seasons in business, just like there are seasons in, winter, fall, spring, summer. We go through the same type of seasons in business. And so once you've reached the level, one of the seasons is increase. Well, the season of increase means I finally reached whether or not it's my financial goal. I've reached as many clients as I wanted. My network is growing. My email listing is good. Now you're in the season of increase. Well, guess what? Those seasons are going to start all over again. Mm-hmm. And so now I want to help you in that next level, identify the seasons, work through the seasons so that you can then reach that next level of increase, and so forth and so forth.
Okay. I guess I was talking about, like, once they first enter that season of increase, do you find that once they start adding those additional streams of income, now they have their email list, now they have all this stuff, that those other streams are more likely to take off because now they're entering that season of increase, or no?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I
Yes.
was asking, basically.
Yeah. And so, so it, absolutely. And then again, those other things begin to take off, but they don't stay, flat. It goes like this. So that's why identify those seasons help you when you're doing this.
That's interesting. So like, right now, sometime in the next 5-10 years, we're going to enter a recession.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever talk to your clients about, how do you prepare for that? How do you kind of endure that? What do you do to handle that season?
Well, yes and no, if I can say that. Yes, because they are aware of it. We do talk about it. No, because I don't want to provoke fear. So I don't want to put them in a space where they're frantic. The way that I approach the recession is that I believe that the coaches are going to actually be more of a resource and a necessity during the recession than anything else, because people are going to want hope. They're going to be looking for something to grasp onto. They're going to need someone to help them through it. They're going to need, and so coaching is actually probably going to be one of the highest paid industries, as long as you're formatted and answering the right problems. But it's probably going to be one of the most sought after professions or solutions, in that season, because people are not going to really know how to handle it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting, because I'm just like, how do you really prepare them for like success? Because I'm sure that when they're working with you, they're going to be entering different seasons. So that first season of success, how do you prepare them, and kind of, do you work with them on how to manage their finances once they hit their first $20,000 a month? Do you talk to them?
Absolutely. The community embodies all areas of business. We actually just had one of our experts come in and do a training on taxes and bookkeeping. We have another expert coming in next month that's going to teach about landing pages and sales pages. It's my responsibility to help you get the messaging, get the problem, all of that good stuff. But as a community, I want to make sure that you don't have to go searching in different areas looking for the answer. My community offers experts in the areas that I'm not proficient in.
That's super important, because I've just seen it so many times. Like, they get successful, then they have to go elsewhere to go find those answers, and those people don't necessarily have their best interests at heart, or they run into a salesman down the street and say, "Oh, you're successful now. You want to buy this Mercedes?"
Yeah. Yep, you're absolutely right. So stewardship is definitely something we teach, because if we're already positioning our mind to receive wealth. Hey, that's it. I already know that this coaching business is going to bring me wealth because I'm going to apply these steps. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. Okay, so when the wealth comes, you have to be a good steward over it. So don't just be a good steward when you get your first $20,000 contract. Be a good steward when you get your $2,000 contract. So again, those principles don't change because of the amount of money you make. We want to make sure that we're training that thought process in the beginning, whether or not you've made $5 in your coaching business or $5,000 or $50,000 in your coaching business.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what is your vision for your business?
It's huge. I'm a vision coach. What do you expect? No. So my vision, I am positioning the company to become international. I want my company to be my company will be one of the most sought after Christian coaching communities that offers niche certification. My company will offer the opportunity. One of the benefits to being a part of my community is once you're done with your 12-month training, it's broken up into 5 levels. So once you're done with that 5th level, which is our level of leadership, you can now apply to become an executive coach for Chase Gray. So I don't want to be the only coach in my company with all the answers. Like, you didn't just go through this 12 month of training to now still be cast out, still, looking for clients. No, you can now become an executive coach of Chase Gray, and now you can coach the coaches that are coming in. So just the model alone is going to not only expand us internationally, but it's going to really give some of the coaches that platform that they're going to desire in their coaching businesses.
Yeah, that's really cool, because then that's actually a really interesting model too. That's really cool, because then you can take that step back and focus on, providing as much service as you can to your executive coaches, and you get 1 million executive coaches, and then you become, the network effect of marketing.
That's it.
But yeah,
You got it.
yeah. But so what does success look like to you?
I haven't arrived. I haven't made it. But success for me is living full time and doing exactly what God wants me to do. And that's what I do every day. I'm a mom. I have 3 boys. I'm a wife. I'm a business owner. I'm a coach. I'm an author. I'm a empowerment speaker and trainer. I spend my days doing exactly what I was born to do. This is success for me.
Oh, wow. That's really cool that you're able to kind of find it. So it's been about that's 11 years in business, basically?
11 years in business, 5 years full time. Well, no, it's been long. Yes, 11 years. You're right.
In entrepreneurship,
Yes. Yep. And then 5 years full time.
Yeah. It's funny. It's like it takes a while, but then people are only able to really see you, currently.
Yes. I told you, I said overnight success in 10 years.
Yeah.
So that's really how that works.
Yeah. So it's just, which one do you think is more important? Knowing what not to do or knowing what to do?
Oh, knowing what not to do or knowing what to do? Which one is important? Probably knowing what to do. Because in pursuing what to do, you'll learn what not to do.
Yeah. That's interesting. Interesting. Yeah, because when you learn what not to do, of course, I know all the different ways I'm not to make a mistake, but then you still don't know how to actually move forward in yours. That's very interesting. I've heard arguments for both, so it's kind of cool. So,
and when you condition your mind to doing what not to do, you're placing limits, because you're producing fear and you're producing boundaries. And sometimes we have to kind of go into those things that we're not supposed to do so that we can genuinely appreciate when we arrive to the place that we're doing what we're supposed to do.
That's really good. So, are you working on any special projects right now?
I am. Right now, we are working on our 2020 Shift Conference. It is a conference for coaches and service-based entrepreneurs. This is a conference that we host annually. This is actually our 4th year that we'll be hosting the conference. It is for coaches and service-based entrepreneurs. It's a 2-day conference here in Michigan, where we really focus on building your business as a coach or service-based entrepreneur, and then we work on building your spiritual side. Really kind of getting you focused in on what God has called you to do as a coach or a service-based entrepreneur. So not only do we have a year-round enrollment into our community, but it also provides you VIP access to the conference as well.
Okay. So can you tell us about some of your books? I think I see some in the background.
Yes. I said I'm getting ready to get on here, so let me make sure I stage this effectively. So what we do, again, Chase Great is a community that is designed to help our coaches and our service-based entrepreneurs do exactly what our name says, Chase Great. And so what we provide our coaches every year is an anthology project where if you're a coach of Chase Great, you can you can work with us and partner with us in writing our book. So we just launched volume 2 of Coach My Life, which is a coaches anthology with the Chase Great coaches, where they are to submit their work on their area of coaching. So again, we solve specific problems in this book, and we've created it for individuals who may not be ready to work with a coach one-on-one, who's looking to kind of do coaching at a self-paced. It does embody different areas of life. Our volume 2 that we just released, my specific area of focus was on depression. So my area is Diaries of a depressed entrepreneur, where I talk about depression and I talk about why entrepreneurs experience depression so heavy and how to overcome depression. My husband is actually a part of the anthology. His particular chapter is on fathership, learning how to communicate as a father and as a son. So we have our different coaches. We have one chapter where one of the coaches, our identity coach, talks about how when her dad left, he divorced her mom, and he also divorced her. So she goes through the daddy challenges with women. So it's a lot of different perspectives and coaching techniques that are in the book.
Okay. And where can people find more about you?
Yes, so you can definitely follow me on all social media platforms at Latoya Early. I don't want to make it complicated for you. Or you can visit us at www.chasegreatenterprises.com, and you can find more information there. And then the book is also located on that site as well.
Excellent. You know, I really appreciate you doing this interview with me. Thanks so much for, holding this interview with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Excellent. So thank you for watching to this far. For the people who are viewing this video, we really appreciate your viewership and really appreciate your support. If you'd like to get more interviews and more content just like this, I recommend you go join my group called Uncapped Growth Strategies. As the name suggests, we give you everything you need to start moving towards the life and business that I believe you deserve. So if that's something you're interested in, I recommend you go check out the links in the description below. Have a great day, guys. Thanks so much. Feel free to hit that share button. And we're done recording in 3, 2, and 1.